She is 25 years of age, and by merely looking at her, nothing would prepare you for what is the story of her life. Hers has been a story of tears, loneliness, desperation, and a lot of resilience.
I was born in Eldoret. My dad was a Kamba, and my mom was Congolese. And I had a younger sister. Back in 1993, my parents died of HIV/AIDS, and my younger sister was infected.
Born in Eldoret 25 years ago, Jacqueline Musyoki, like any other normal child, knew both her parents. Her mother would later die of HIV and AIDS-related complications. Her younger sister, who was also HIV positive, died. At 4 years of age, her father was taken ill one night. Alone and confused, she would face yet another ordeal.
On the night that he died, I don't know what happened, but I think he got some sort of an emergency and the neighbors took him to the hospital. And I was left alone. They locked the door and left me outside. So that night, some gentleman came and raped me.
The next day, she was told by her neighbors that her father had also succumbed to HIV and AIDS.
They stayed late in the hospital. No one remembered I was outside. I think he was admitted or something like that. And no one really bothered where I was. So I slept outside our door, and in the middle of the night, there were men all over me. They tore my clothes, they raped me. And so I screamed. That's when the neighbors came. The gentleman was caught and I was taken to the police.
Then one day, the sun seemed to shine on her life, albeit for a day.
At the police station, the police tried to record statements and all that. I was young. All I knew is all these people were talking and there's this man who's defiled me and I'm there confused. Where is my dad? What is happening? So that night, I did spend in the police cell because all these people were neighbors and they said my father was at the hospital. So the next day when the police were trying to follow up on the case, that's when I heard from them that my dad had died.
Later, this God-sent angel would pursue the man who defiled her and ensure that he was put behind bars.
When I waited for my relatives to show up and at least help me, no one came forth to claim me. So the first night, one of the police commissioners took me to her house. The second night, the same happened. The third night, they decided they have to find a permanent solution for me because no one is coming. So I was taken to the juvenile remand home in Eldoret. It was hard. I felt I was being punished for something it wasn't worth it. My parents have just died. No one is coming forth. These people were neighbors. You know, when you're young, everyone is auntie, everyone is uncle. So I was also confused. Life in juvenile wasn't easy. It was so hard.
She was soon to find a new home in the Muli family. But this was not an immediate solution to her problems.
And I stayed in juvenile for 1 year. And then Mr. Muli used to come, preach and give us good food. So this day he comes and for the first time I think he notices this young girl crying, looking tattered, and he held me up. I do remember this moment because one, I was young but I knew I was filthy. I even hated how I smelled of urine, how I looked dirty. No one really cared whether I showered or not. He took me up and held me in his arms. And I hadn't felt that kind of love from anyone in a long time.
She always felt alone and attempted suicide 4 times.
Between the age of 5 and 7 years, I attempted suicide thrice.
But later, she accepted that this was her reality and learned to live with it. Her dream in life was to work in the medical field, and after her Form 4 results, she pursued a degree in nursing at the University of Nairobi and is now working as a nurse at Thika Level 5 Hospital. Hers has been an eventful life, and I ask her how one recovers from what she has gone through.
But I am lucky that I had a family that was there for me. All the children in the home had similar backgrounds, if not worse, and Mr. Muli did not treat us different from his own children.
She believes in her heart that everyone holds their life in their own hands and are solely responsible for the direction their life takes.
In college, I became the NUNSA chairperson, that is Nairobi University Nursing Students Association chairperson. I was the first female chairperson. And people everywhere people respect me and they do not believe that I have this hard challenge.
She might have found a footing in her life today, but says her journey in life has just begun. Ali has also gone through an equally rough childhood, and at some point in his life, he attempted to kill his biological father.
Nilitoka nyumbani na hasira, nikisema nikienda coast nitaenda kutafuta bunduki, na I was ready. Nilikuwa nimeshapata mahali penye inanunuliwa. Aim yangu ilikuwa nilikuwa naenda kumuuliza, nilikuandikia barua unizae, na kwa nini nateseka hivi? So ilikuwa nimeamua kwenda kumaliza.
Life would, however, be kind to him, and today he is a successful young man pursuing a purposeful life.
After going exodus to stardom, I went back to school.
These two are, however, lucky to have risen above the odds to become independent people in society. But what becomes of the thousands of others who are not too lucky? Whose responsibility are they, and what can you and I do to make a success of their life? Caroline Kamau reporting for Channel 1 Weekend.